Looks like we started.
What'd you say?
They're starting to record already.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right, everybody. Good morning. We could get started after our bit of delay for everyone having refreshments. Thanks, Tracy. The department for bringing those. My name is Eric Spahn. I live at 14 Old Farm Way. I'm the chair of the Municipal Building Committee, and today we're holding our first public workshop to talk about the facility issues here at Town Hall and specifically at the police station. And with that, we would offer for those people that are here, for those people that are watching on our Channel 9 station, and for those people that can see this presentation on the YouTube web links that are provided on the Town Hall website, we would ask you to take the opportunity, or appreciate that you forward the link and email it to other residents so that we can get the message out. The other sort of announcement to get started is that the issues that we're going to talk about, they're right here in front of us. They're here at Town Hall. They're here in the police station, and so anytime you have the need or feel like you'd like to see these for yourself, then please take the opportunity to take a tour of the police station. It's open. It's your police station. You have the right to go in it and take a look around. We'd just like to set that up in advance. There are email links for myself and for the other committee members on the town website, on handouts, and we'll make any effort possible to tour the facilities and show the issues. Because I think some of the feedback that we have been receiving recently is that when people drive by, they can see what's wrong from the outside, but really the issues are inside. We had a meeting here about 3 weeks ago, and there was, there was a storm, one of our first storms that came through, and there were some ceiling tiles, actually the tile's right there, and it's got water stains in it, and there's water dripping through the roofs. So there are issues, even though it looks great from the outside, here at Town Hall. So with that, the agenda is to go through a short history of how the issues developed and what has happened since they were first brought to light, what the schedule is, proposed schedule going forward, what the actual issues are at the police station, what the issues are at the Town Hall, a program that's been developed to solve these needs, a site selection options, a preliminary budget estimate, and then any questions, and certainly tours if needed. So the history, it's been about 10, or it has been 10 years since 2004 when the town started on a process to overhaul the master plan for the town. In the master plan, there was a critical facilities issues list, and right at the top of the list, as from 2004 until 2006 when the master plan was published, that needs of the police station were put on that priority list. And so here we are in 2014, and we're still talking about it, still trying to figure out what to do. During that time, there's been a fair amount of committees that have been developed to study some site options. Those sites were deemed not appropriate, or provided value, or just weren't didn't have the means in order to accommodate the facilities. And so we go from 2004 up to 2012. There were other site inspection reports that were published. So there's a fair amount of documentation that could be looked at to understand the issues. Next, in terms of a project schedule, typical projects go through planning, they go through design, and then they go through construction, and right now we're in the planning stage. And we're trying to set a budget, a program, and with that, select a site. It seems that site selection has been a conundrum or a difficult process, and what we're trying to do is break out the values of the sites that are being proposed so that people can understand either why sites work, why they don't work, what is the value in the site, and that we've also vetted out and worked towards what is the most economical means to make this happen. With that, we plan to hold several workshops over the next coming months with the purpose of informing the public and moving towards a request for funding for the design and engineering of the project at the annual town meeting in the spring. Once we set up the options and the program, we would hope that the residents would understand that and see the need in order to fund just the design phases. And once the design phase with documentation is done, then a better estimate or a solid estimate can be done. I'll talk about the budget later on. And then we get to building. And I think the big message is that even today, if we walk through this process and start, as we move forward, it's going to take until about 2018, the spring, before any new facility can be realized. So we started in 2004 with putting this on the list as an issue, and we're still looking at, if we walk through this process without major delays, that it's not going to be until 2018 that we finally realize the solution to the issues. This slide is here, and what I'm really trying to point out is that again, that the issues of the municipal facilities were pointed out in May in 2012 from the Capital Planning Committee. It was clear in 2012 that the issues were enough that, if not addressed, would ultimately result in the decline of operational efficiency and morale. And so really what we're talking about is we're not just talking about new facilities for town employees to have new digs. What we're talking about is creating a new building, if done properly, if located properly, provides value back to the residents of Newbury. That the facilities function, they function for a long time, they solve needs of the town that have been overlooked. And as an architect, I should say that if you build a facility correctly, you design it correctly, there are intangible values to that space in terms of personnel, operation employees, people not taking sick time, people more focused on their work, and at the end of the day, that's all value and money back to the residents of Newbury. So then we start with the police station issues, and there are numerous issues here, and they're not just issues that my office is too small. These are issues that deal with violations of regulations of the Massachusetts, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Register, which is the building code. There's a correctional facility code for how holding cells need to be laid out and how they need to be designed. There's basic federal ADA accessibility, Americans with Disability Act accessibility issues with both the town hall and the police station. And then there's OSHA working regulations that need to be addressed. And as I said, I think it's mentioned before, but specifically there's health issues with the septic system currently now, being in the basement of a building that was built quite a while ago, and growing and developing, and the police facility needs and operations obviously have advanced in that time. The number of officers has increased over that time. We have women officers and male officers. The female officers are certainly a benefit to the town, and we just don't have the accommodations for that. The issues come down to not only the officers being able to provide their safety services to the town, but there's safety issues for the officers just working in the space below. And if they have issues that they're distracted because there are safety issues within the office, then that will lead and can lead to the service that they provide to us as residents in town. There's temporary trailers that were placed to relieve some of the space need issues. Those trailers are going on 13 years. They're still temporary trailers, but they've been there for 13 years. Also, it's important to point out that the police department serves as the headmaster services, animal control, shellfish constable, emergency management control, and police and fire dispatch. So there's a few different services that are provided out of the police station. And we talk about the town hall issues up here. Talk about overcrowding of offices, which has led to rental or purchase of trailers. A new trailer has recently arrived this fall for the building inspectional services. The Board of Health is in one of the old trailers outside. And then some of the same issues and code issues that happen for the police station happen up here. The accessibilities with the stairs, there is a ramp out the back, but in terms of ADA accessibility, really the front door should be accessible to everyone in town. I pointed out the leaky roof already, but I wanted to make sure everyone understood that. So then we come to the police department and just a staff function. There are a total of 21 officers that are in the police department. They all don't work at the same time in the police department, but the police from 2004 to 2014, John, how many officers can you say has the department grown by?
Since we're up at Compton Reserves, 19.
How were there any women on the force back in 2004?
Yep. About that time.
So we've lived with these issues of not having separated facilities for just officers coming in and changing into uniforms, or should something happen on the job where they need it changing, those are issues that have to be accommodated downstairs. Then we talk about the organization of Town Hall, and I think what I'd like to point out is that the police department is an integral part of Town Hall services, and the connection and adjacencies that the police department now shares with the Town Hall is something that helps the police department operate, helps the Town Hall department operate, and as I said, those multiple departments of emergency management, and harbor master, and animal control. Some people come in here, they go for a license downstairs, and they have to come back up and get some assessor's records, or vice versa, and so it's very helpful to have the two departments located together. So now I'd like to talk about a program for the new police station, and with the police station, there's an existing 3,000 square feet in the basement of this building. There's about 1,120 square feet in the trailers out back. I'd like just to point out that the mechanical room for the entire building is downstairs, and new construction for a new program is 4,630, which gives us a 9,000 square foot facility. There's also an additional storage container outside. These numbers were produced. The committee hired, or actually the committee has hired an architect, CSS Architects. They're a local Massachusetts architect. They've done numerous police stations, public safety facilities, fire stations, and so they understand programming. We'll look at next slide will show a program floor plan that will show some layout of spaces. I think it just shows that there's a great deficiency if we were to go through every space of the spaces that are not downstairs now. We're not doubling the size of the police station just to give them more space with what they have. We're adding a lot of rooms and a lot of rooms in terms of sequence that they just don't have to do their job now. The town hall, the first floor is a little bit bigger space. It's 3,200 square feet, and the trailers for the health department and for building inspectional is outside. And you can see that there's about a third of the space is what we're looking to increase the size of town hall now. It's not that much to the overall. So here we have a plan. This is by the CSS Architects, and it's not meant to be the final design. It's meant to be, we came up with the program by interviewing the police department, by walking through the department, by looking at other towns and departments and figuring out, okay, this is the list of spaces that are needed, what is the correct size for these spaces, and then this plan was quickly put together to show here's how these spaces might go together so that we could figure out an overall size. And what we're looking at here is the town hall is in the green on the left, and the police department is on the right, and the different departments within the police department are colored. The part of the program difference, that 3,000 square feet, arrives at a fair amount of it is having something like a sally port that we just don't have. And there's some additional spaces in terms of booking and holding cells and the organization of these holding cells in terms of views and how somebody enters and exits the cells that we just aren't there, and those are part of the correctional building code that are required. Other rooms, Chief, maybe you could speak to something like the squad room?
Certainly. Presently, we do not have a squad room. We have Presently, we do not have a squad room in terms of what a true squad room is. We have no place to bring our department together for department trainings. We either have to schedule when town hall's not in session and use up here, and hopefully nobody in town is working, or we have to ask the school to borrow a room from them for an evening. So it's logistically, it's extremely difficult for us to get the department together as a whole. Usually in a critical incident, we like to, when we work with other police and public service agencies, we like to come together for a debriefing after an incident. We can't do that here. It's logistically impossible to have an operation running and bring other agencies into our station to have confidential private meetings, debriefing about a critical incident, what we could have done better, what went well, and what we're going to plan for in the future if something like that happens. It's impossible here. And it's very difficult logistically to plan something like that using another public facility because the privacy issues just aren't there. And, you know, that's what we face.
Thank you.
Mike,
Yes.
before you go, can you explain a little bit the definition of a sally port? Because some people really don't understand what a sally port is and how important it is to your operation.
Certainly. Presently, right now, if we bring a prisoner to the police station, somebody that's under arrest, there is no private entrance or secure entrance. The cruiser pulls up front in front of the public view. The prisoner is marched through the 2 glass doors into the public foyer and then into the police station where the prisoner is processed. It's dangerous for the officers. It's dangerous for anybody that's any member of the public that's in the foyer. And for the prisoner, him or herself, they're innocent until they're proven guilty in court. Well, being in full public view, marched into the police station in handcuffs, you're embarrassed. So it's not good for the person that's under arrest. A sally port is a secure garage area in which the cruiser will pull into, the door will secure, the prisoner is in a secure environment, the officer can secure his or her weapon and make conditions correct for removing the prisoner from the vehicle and then bringing the prisoner into the police station. And it's private, it's secure, it really alleviates a lot of officer safety issues.
Thank you. And simply walking into the vestibule downstairs and then even just taking a peek inside the station, you can see that none of that, those spaces as talked about are there or present. So then we asked CSS Architects to provide a list of other stations that they've worked on, and we're now doing research and calling and checking some of the numbers and finding out some additional information for a facility comparison so that we can prove out the program and the cost that we're looking for. And just some simple data from the chart, as you can see that the town of Harvard has a 9,000 square foot facility. They have 6,000 residents. This chart is a 2008 chart, so assuming they have a few more residents, but it's fairly close. The population of Newbury in 2010 is 6,666, so we're fairly close. The number of officers in air is 20. Their population is a little bit more than Newbury's of 7,369, and they have a 12,800 square foot station. There are other interesting metrics. Orleans has 31 officers, 6,315, population of 6,315, and they have an 18,000 square foot station. But you have to imagine that Orleans summer influx probably triples the size of their population, and so they have needs that we don't quite have. We do have an ocean, and we do have the proximity to Seabrook that brings in some other regional differences that other towns don't have. So we will have more information on this to prove out the square footage that we're looking for, the program that we're looking for, and also look at past data as a way to try to size up the budget that we're looking for. Construction can range anywhere from $300 to $400+ a square foot. It depends on location, things such as site conditions such as rock and ledge will add to that. Salisbury, which isn't on here, but their current design and program calls for an 18,000 square foot facility. They have 41 officers, and the cost roughly is about $480 a square foot. Then I'd like to point out that the work of the Municipal Building Committee is also has been inclusive of the Board of Selectmen, the Finance Committee, the Capital Planning Committee, the Planning Board, obviously the Police Department, Inspectional Building Services, and Town Hall employees. And then we had a meeting on October 28th and had a very good discussion, not just about which site, but what are the values of what we're trying to accomplish here, and how those may help us then find a site and select a site that brings the most value back to town. And so items that were discussed were, should it be a new building or should it be a renovated building? Should it be separate facilities or combined facilities? And we've presented those options, and we came away with a unanimous vote that the town hall should be built as a combined facility to provide the value in functionality and operational costs. That the town hall should be newly constructed to provide the best financing value to the town. And that the police station should be located towards the center of town and connected to a public water and sewer system. With that, in the discussion of sites, having a program, having a budget, you really need to, in order to refine and define those costs, we need to determine and select a site. And what I'm showing in this slide is that currently we have three options. The first option being a new combined town hall police station right here on Town Hall. It would require demolishing this building and building a new building similar to the plans that I had previously shown. Option B, the Governor's Academy has made an offer. It's been a long-standing offer to donate a site. It's currently about 3.5 acres. It's at the very northern end of the Governor's property on Route 1. We'll see that on a map in a minute. That would be a 99-year lease or some sort of lease situation, and the benefit for selecting that site is not only is the site costs reasonable in terms of a very economical lease, but also Governor's has its own site sewage treatment plant, and so we would be able to tie into that. Discussions are going on to vet out whether that system is sized correctly, is appropriate, and if that would provide a long-term value in terms of tying into that system, and then being able to tie into the Byfield water supply. The third option is a combined police station town hall on Route 1 North, and the site would have to be purchased. And there are a couple sites, but no site has been specifically identified in terms of discussions with a property owner, but several sites have been looked at that either that have some minimal development on them. The sites you'll see on the next map also tie into, I'll show you where the water and sewer supplies are and why these sites make more sense. With that, over the years, there's been a fair amount of sites looked at, but again, those sites have all been sort of tested and vetted out in terms of the Woodbridge School. There was a whole report and study done on the ability to either move Town Hall or the police station over there. The Town Forest out on Boston Road, just past the transfer station as you're headed to Route 1. 2 weeks ago we did a perk test, which failed. 12 holes were dug. And so the potential to locate a new facility there, although seemingly to be the exact center of town, if you can't get a proper water supply and you can't deal with the septic, then we obviously just can't build there. Mantor Field and the Newberry Library were also discussed and off the table. So we're looking to move forward, not backwards with our sites. We're looking to find sites that make the best sense and value for the town. So here's a map of Newbury. We have in red the areas of denser population in town. We have on this these yellow teardrops were the previous sites that were crossed out on the previous side, and the three options A, B, and C are located the center of town. This is Hay Street, this is Boston Road, here's the transfer station, and right about here is called the town forest. So that was one option. Here's the Upper Green, here's the town hall site where we are here. And then the other two zones are the Governor's and Route 1 North. And then as a sort of defining criteria in order to connect to public sewer and a public water supply, we're very limited with Newbury not having any system like that in place, but we do have the Byfield water. This is Governor's Academy here. This is about the site that they are offering to the town. We have looked at the sites, the JRM trash disposal site just as you come over the bridge on the right, and here's the Upper Green Town Hall. The purple arrows represent Newbury points of water and sewer supply, and the Governor's, should probably add that to the slide, is a little sewer treatment plant which is right at the corner of Elm and Route 1. So center of town, sites that focus towards the center of town, sites that have the possibility of having a public water and sewer supplied to them. Brings us to everybody's favorite topic, which is the budget. So the estimated costs from the program using data that's provided by CSS, adding in items such as temporary facilities. Obviously, if you knock this building down and were to build here, you'd have to put the town hall and police department somewhere else. Water connection, sewer connection, site costs, moving costs, moving out of this building, moving into this building. And so the way we're looking at the budget is we took option A, which is the town hall site, and we added up the costs for a total cost for each project cost, about $2.4 million for the town hall, $4.7 million for the police department. And then we looked at the other two sites in terms of the differential to the line items that were presented in option A. So moving out of town hall and then moving back into town hall has a dollar value assigned to it, and we decreased the dollar value because if the project was built somewhere else in town, you'd only have to move once. The project would be built, this facility would remain until that facility was built, and then you'd only have to move once. Temporary facilities, the same issue happens there, is that there wouldn't be any temporary facilities required if the project was built elsewhere than right here. Water and sewer costs need to be looked at together. The water number is loaded with all the street work, the detail work, the paving work, and the sewer connection is just the trenching, the sewer pipe, and a force main. It apparently is that either town hall or the JRM site, and most likely even the Governor's site would require some kind of force main and additional pumping station in that system. And then there's site costs. You know, the sites that were previously selected all came about because they were free, they were town owned, they were going to be donated, and so if another site was to magically appear, but it was a property owner, I'm sure there would be some cost in that, and that obviously affects the price. So we're working to define these numbers, get up-to-date numbers, and you know, the price that we had previously proposed at about $7 million is coming down a little bit as we sharpen our pencils, and we hope to continue to do that.
Can you just, I can't read the B and C on the top line, what does that say?
B is $1.1 million of additional costs.
And that's for option B.
That's for option
The
B.
governor's option.
And option, Correct. And option C is 1.2 million additional costs.
So at this stage in the planning, the least expensive cost is the one on this site?
Currently.
Very early.
Currently, yes, yes.
Thank you.
And I should mention that Town Hall has water supplied by Newburyport. So in the, you still have to dig up the street, you still have to add a sewer down the road, but it's the cost of a second trench, and also the fact that the water line exists means that they would be digging up only half a roadway and placing it. There's two thoughts to doing that, is either putting them in the same trench or separating them by about 10 feet, and if doing both for options B and C means the whole road needs to be reworked, where the Town Hall option is only half the road needs to be reworked. So that's why those numbers, and I would say that those numbers are conservative because we don't know about rocks or ledge or some other existing things in the street at the moment. But the next phase of moving, once we select a site and want to move forward with it, then that design and engineering phase will certainly prove those out. A rendering by CSS Architects that is trying to show the size or the scale of the combined facility. 2 stories, adds that extra space without really increasing the footprint of the town hall. Obviously, the area of the additional police station adds to the footprint of the police station on this site. There are issues of parking that need to be dealt with. That's one of the challenges of the town hall site. And what we're currently thinking is, with the plans that I had shown you previously, is we would take that building footprint and that layout, and we would apply it to the other 2 sites down at Governor's. Governor's is fairly wide open. There's a little terrain to understand. The JRM site we're talking about, but we really haven't gone over there to assess it. There's a building on there, so assuming that you could put a building on top of that footprint, but we would take this footprint and just move it over there. Once the site is selected and the design and engineering phase happens, then we would look to work with the architect that's doing it to make the best use of spaces, make the best presentation of a building. So this isn't meant to be the end all, or this is it, folks. This is meant to be, show you how, what the size of the building might be. And with that, thank you all for coming and listening, and any thoughts and questions you may have. The presentation will be posted on the town website. The presentation will be shown again on Channel 9, and the presentation will be put out as a YouTube video that's also accessible on the town website. So I would ask of you kindly if you would take a look at that and then forward it on to someone that you know that's not here today. So thank you.
Eric, before we go, I think that history has shown that, when statements have been made by, great people, and the statements have great meaning, they seem to last. So I'm going to put you in that realm of making a great statement. But in the pass out that we have here today, Eric really did sum up where we are, and he made a great statement. The facility situation has become dire. The option of not doing anything is no longer an option, and that's a good statement. Thank you.
Thank you. I made that statement because if we do not do anything, then we're looking at another Public Works Department facility issue where if situations get worse downstairs, the building department may have to condemn the building, and we'll be into a whole nother realm of costs and issues that we're trying to resolve now. So now's the time to focus on the issue. Now's the time to collect your input. Now's the time to understand what we're doing so that we can resolve this without additional costs or chaos.
Eric, just a quick question on Connors. Excuse me. The municipal building committee flyer that you've created here, a pamphlet, is just very well done. And I guess my question really is to Tracy Blaze, our town administrator. Would it be possible to include this in our next semi-annual or quarterly tax bill? Because I think this is very,
Bob,
it gives us all the detail.
we've had conversations with Leslie, the town clerk, and
Yep.
that's in motion.
That's great. Well, thank you very
We're
much.
gonna try to simplify it so it doesn't add cost to the mailing, but something will go up now.
It's very well done. This answers a lot of questions.
Have you set the date for the December meeting yet?
No, we haven't. We set at the 28th that we were gonna hold a public meeting, and then a week later, we looked at the schedule, and there's something called Thanksgiving that came up, and so here we are. And hope to get through Thanksgiving and then plan it out. But I would say that, we're going to have the Municipal Building Committee is going to have joint meetings at the Board of Selectmen meetings, at Finance Committee meetings. So if you have an interest, you can show up to any board in town, and, this will be a topic to be discussed. So yes, we will post a December meeting, and if we have to, we'll have a January meeting. And the Newbury Municipal Building Committee meets probably bi-weekly, every week if we need to, but I guess it's almost been fair stretches of every week. We have meetings that are usually 7 in the morning. I have to make it to Cambridge, so it makes it difficult to do it during the day, but we've also held our first evening meeting 2 Thursdays ago, and so we're open to having a Thursday meeting every now and then to allow other people to have the chance to attend. So please attend.
And I'd add to that,
Yes, well, they're either here or they're in the trailer next door, depending on what else is happening. The evening meetings are fairly full in town, and so,
and all the committee members are happy to meet with people individually and talk if you have questions. And as Eric said, all of our contact information's on the website. So we'd actually love to talk about this more.
The reference material here, the supporting documents, that's accessible as well?
we'll have to
Just
work.
a brief, to ramp up if we were
If you,
to.
they're right there in my bag.
I mean, at some point, we could get to.
Yes,
we
yes,
try to get to
they
that.
will be available. The CSS report I've referred to numerous times is left out at the clerk's counter. It's right there. This report will be printed and put there as well. It's on the website, but no, not every piece of documentation that has come up that's listed in that flyer is currently available other than by me. So I'll make a point to figure out how to make that happen.
Anybody interested in the tour? It starts here.
That is Deputy Chief Lucy, your tour guide.
Yeah,
Can
and
we put anyone in handcuffs too, so they get the full feel of the
I have a volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
Demonstrate the voting process.
Good job.
Now, Eric, there's no